They are square, they are made of plastic, you keep your coins in them, and a lot of people have very strong opinions about them. Today, how about we go on a fair assessment on the positives and negatives of slabbing your ancient coins? Should you do it? Should you not? I'll give you some of my opinions and maybe help you judge if you want to slab your coins or not. Let's go! So, according to my analytics, half of you, my viewers, are either from the US, Canada, or England, where slabbing your modern coins is quite common practice, especially for you more numismatic modern items. But for the rest of you, maybe it's a good idea to go over what is coin slabbing and grading and why does it exist. Coin grading and slabbing in its current shape started around the 1980s on a particularly overheated moment of the US coin market, and slabbing serves two very important functions on the coin market. First, to guarantee that a coin has been looked at by a body of experts on US coinage or whatever kind of coinage and determine it to be genuine. This is one, if not the main concern of any coin collector of any niche, to know your coin is the real deal. Second, it generates an equal playing field between buyer and seller in regards to the grade of a coin, and it creates a comparison point between one another based on one single judge. It is a point system from 1 to 70, being 70 absolutely flawless. So basically, it helps create a hierarchy between coins and a system of evaluation and benchmark for prices and for an overall evaluation for a certain type of coin. And yes, we all know human beings are flawed, and any subjective grading is subject to some level of inaccuracy, but the idea is that by providing a fair and expert arbiter, both buying and selling agents or people comparing coins agree that this expert will be way less biased due to his experience. That, plus the authentication of a coin, can be considered a very valuable service. On ancients, however, grading is done slightly differently. A slabbed ancient coin will have in its label a quick description of the issuing state, as well as the date range of issue, a quick explanation of the obverse and the reverse of the coin. It will also have a grade that does not have a number like modern coins, instead using adjectives like fine, very fine, good as the overall grade area of a coin. Also, due to the nature of ancient coins, coins will also be graded based on strike quality, since they were hand-struck, surface, as in the quality of the fabric material where the designs are at, and, if applicable, a part where peculiarities of the coin will be noted, such as fine style, cracks, double strike, etc. Some of these are good, others are bad. Now we get to the very important point of the slabbing service, which is related to authenticity. Particularly for ancient coin collectors, the ghost of having a fake coin in our collection, while we think this thousands of year old piece we have is genuine, is always present. But unfortunately, slabbing companies such as NGC do not guarantee authenticity of ancient coins, at least until the making of this video. And why is that? Well, US coins are all machine-made using modern techniques of engraving and production. This means that the entire design and manufacturing process is very well documented, and an authentication method for determining a genuine coin can be made by reverse engineering it. Obviously, this is not the case for ancient coins. Their manufacturing documentation, if such a thing ever existed, is long gone, and the objects are handmade with hand-sculpted dies, so the same kind of authentication simply isn't possible. That being said, it's not like the people grading ancients on NGC don't know what they're doing. Of course they know their stuff. They will not encapsulate coins they don't believe are genuine. So although the guarantee is not there, you can use this expert opinion on your decision if a coin is authentic or not. So, with the differences between grading system and authentication out of the way, let's look at positive and negative sides of slabbing coins in my opinion, so you can decide if slabbing is for you or it's not. So first, let's start with the positive points I'll see for slabbing your coin. The first would be that, well, slabbing a coin is basically like giving it heavy armor. If for any reasons you have a concern for the protection of your coin physically, for fall or any similar reason, a slab does offer physical protection for your coin. Second, I'll go back to the authentication part of it all. As I've said, they don't guarantee authenticity, but they also have a reputation to uphold. Companies like NGC will not encapsulate a coin they don't think are genuine, but it's not like this is a free pass for them to be sloppy when dealing with ancient coins. So if you combine a purchase of a coin from a trusted and reputable dealer, but you still don't consider that enough for some reason, you go for the slabbing and the coin gets a pass, so to speak, and comes back properly slabbed, this can mean for you an additional layer of certainty. Also, if you are suspicious a coin might be fake, you send it for grading, and it comes back in what they call a body bag as not genuine, this is a very compelling argument for you to contact your dealer and ask for a refund. Third, I would argue that for the absolute beginner, not only the quick summary you find on the coin label helps you get a very basic starting point on what should you research to know your coin and its historical context a little bit better, but many beginners might not know what a flank crack, a die shift, or a double strike are on a coin, and what these flaws are and how does it affect the price of a coin. So I think there is at least some educational value being given for the beginner when having this information laid out for them on the slab. So as you see, I do recognize positives on the whole slabbing ancient coin thing, but I would also like to raise some of the points I see as negatives. The first one I think is the most important to me. One of the biggest appeals of ancient coin collecting has to do with the fact you're holding an object that might be over 2,000 years old, getting a direct link with a world that is long gone. Not being able to hold your coins is, for me, a massive deal breaker. But I also think this privilege of holding the coin comes with a responsibility, which is that I think everyone should learn how to properly handle and take care of their coins. And I even made some videos teaching you how to do it, so if you haven't, you should check it out. My second problem with slabs has to do with the size of the slabs themselves. One slab isn't very massive, but your collection will grow faster than you think. And if you have your entire collection slabbed, you will soon have a big problem with storage and with the presentation of your coins. While keeping them on a tray, just like the one I'm showing right now, it's a very efficient use of space and a great way to just pick them all up and present them to anyone. Next, I'll go back to the issue of authenticity. Even though I defended grading companies by saying they do not guarantee the authenticity of the coins, but their opinion carried some respectable weight, I think an essential step on the journey of any coin collector is to develop a network of reliable dealers. Learn by buying from such good dealers what an authentic coin looks like, and this should, with time, slowly make the need for this second opinion of the slabbing company redundant, in my opinion. I have, with time, developed a list of dealers I buy certain of my coins from. This has helped me develop my buying habits, and it taught me how to vet good from bad coins. And you should develop a portfolio of dealers of your own, as knowing how to buy coins is actually a really good skill for a numismatist. Next, I want to raise a series of issues I believe exist with the current grading system. Of course, it is possible, particularly with modern coins, where they are very much alike right after production, to compare two coins, set a grading system, and compare the coins. And there's a very valid argument to adapt the system to ancient coins by analyzing its strike, its surface, its peculiarities, but still, it is too vague and arbitrary in my opinion, and I will illustrate why I think this. Ancient coins are a mix between an archaeological object that has been subject to thousands of years of wear, a handmade work of art, and an object meant for mass production. When you put these three elements together, I would say it makes them so unique and distinct that any attempt to level the playing field by generating an arbitrary standard to judge something that subjective just falls on its face. An example I like to use are the tetradrachma of Alexander the Great, a very popular coin, fortunately very abundant, with thousands of varieties and very avidly collected by many people. They were struck during Alexander's conquests and hundreds of years after his death, some 250 years after his passing, and it was also minted on dozens upon dozens of different mints. So, for example, earlier posthumous coins of Alexander tend to be around 25 millimeters wide and have very high reliefs on the bust of Hercules. These coins were very hard to produce with a strong, well-defined strike, and the dies degraded much quicker, making the aforementioned strike grade on the coin much harder to get that perfect 5 out of 5. So as I've said, they were minted for hundreds of years. Later posthumous coins tend to be much wider, as in the flan, and present a much lower relief. These coin dies were much quicker to make, a good strike was much easier to achieve, and as a result, it was much easier on that time to achieve something that would be a 5 out of 5 strike coin. Not only that, but you would also find varieties from the time when the high relief coins were being struck that had a lower relief as well. So how can you bunch all of these coins together, struck under different circumstances, different minting conditions, different styles, and compare them all on the same scale under the same overall name of Alexander posthumous coins, for example? Just as I said, it is too subjective. And I don't think the grading captures all of the nuances that ancient numismatic has. And there are many other instances of different types of coins that suffered a similar problem. I've just picked Alexander's example because it is very well known and easily relatable to people. Another thing with coin grading, which can generate a bit of ambiguity, are the little notes and remarks that they put on their slabs. They are generally there to mark little defects on a coin, like a die shift or other manufacturing problems that might detract from a coin's value. Look at this Athenian coin. I've featured it previously in one of my videos where I did some research on the little counter marks and tried to figure out what they could mean. And I came up, based on some hard evidence, with a theory that got me a couple of destinations where this coin could have been to. I don't know about you guys, but even if I'm primarily a Roman coin collector, this makes this coin the coolest in my collection. Like, it is literally telling me where it has been to 2,000 years later. Some of you might agree with me and say this makes this coin much cooler than a coin in similar condition but with clean and plain fields. But according to the label on the slab, this would be a small defect on the coin. I mean, for some of you, it may be. You might prefer a coin that went from the mint straight into a hoard, perfect condition. And that's fine, but once again, it's basically simplifying things that are too complex and subjective to judge. Some other people also argue that slabbing and the grading services drive speculation and increase the overall prices of the coin, by opening its way for people that aren't interested in numismatics and only want to evaluate a coin, buy low and sell high. I tend to agree, but I also understand that it is fully possible to speculate with raw coins. And let's not forget, we live in a society where you are free to speculate if you want. So condemning someone for something that isn't illegal or isn't wrong, even though you might think is morally wrong, isn't really fair. So my final verdict. I don't want this video to end up sounding like a rant, although it sounds a little bit like it. There are definitely positives to getting your ancient coins graded and put on slabs, as I've pointed out. And guys, you know who you are. Don't give fellow collectors who like their coins slabbed a tough time. It's their choice. But for me, I feel the slabs and the labels transform a work of art that should be appreciated by what it is, studied by what it represents back in its day, and priced taking into account the many things that people might appreciate to it, as treating it just as a commodity. Slabs are too cold, too distant, the grading doesn't capture a fraction of all the little things in a coin, and in my opinion, it is not how ancient coins should be appreciated. So for me, the coins stayed out of the plastic. But I want to hear from you guys. Have you got slabbed coins? Any reasons why you prefer your coins slabbed? Do you prefer them out of the slabs? No one is gonna judge you, just say what you think. And I hope you all stay safe, and see you in the next one.